My stepson's mom is telling him I won't love him after my baby is born, and it's breaking my heart. Throwaway because my stepson's mom knows my main. I don't even know where to start. I just really need to get this off my chest. I'm 20 and my husband is 22. We've been married almost a year. He has a 7-year-old son from a previous relationship. I came into their lives when his son was 2. His ex was extremely controlling and toxic. She wouldn't even let my husband see his own mom at one point. When I met him, I just tried to treat him with basic respect and kindness. I fell in love not only with him, but with his little boy too. Even though he's technically my stepson, I call him my son. I love him like he's mine. When we were 18, my husband proposed. I cried and said yes. At 19 we eloped, because it was what we could afford at the time. It wasn't fancy, but it was ours. Now I'm 7 months pregnant with our baby girl. My stepson is so excited to have a little sister. My husband is over the moon. We've been so happy. But his mom is making this so hard. She's been telling him things like, you know, when your wonderful stepmom has that baby, she isn't going to have time for you anymore. She'll only care about her biological kid. That is absolutely not true. Not even close. But it's getting to him. He's only 7. He's starting to pull away from me. He seems anxious and sad. It breaks my heart because I can see the confusion on his face. I reassure him constantly that my love for him isn't going anywhere, that this baby doesn't replace him, that families just grow, they don't swap kids out. My husband is furious. He wants to file for sole custody because he feels like this is emotional manipulation and it's hurting our son. And honestly, I understand why he's angry. Watching someone plant insecurity in a child like that feels cruel. I just feel lost. I'm pregnant and emotional and trying to prepare for a new baby. And at the same time, I feel like I'm fighting to protect my relationship with my son from lies that shouldn't even be happening. I don't hate her. I just wish she would put him first instead of whatever resentment she has toward us. I'm exhausted. I love this little boy so much, and it hurts to see him hurting. You are all so young. Well, he will learn all on his own, that his mom lies. Just love him. That will be enough. To basically become a stepmom at 15 is fucking crazy. I'm happy my childhood best friend has a horrible roommate. It's really awful to wish something like this upon your childhood best friend, I know. My best friend and I dormed together freshman year of uni. We shared the tiniest room ever, and we had lofted beds to try and make more space. We have been best friends for literally well over a decade, so we knew one another's habits well, and generally it was great, and I didn't mind it, for the most part. My best friend is also the most outgoing person in the world, and I am very, very shy. I enjoy being alone and spent most of the year by myself at the skate park, because that's what I like to do. He was out partying and having fun, which is great, and I was happy to have alone time sometimes even though he's great. Since I was in the dorm more often, I did all the cleaning. I vacuumed and cleaned our bathroom. He did not ever do this once because I just did it first without being asked, and I did not mind it. He also tended to leave dirty dishes on his desk, or leave food in the fridge until it would rot. I started just throwing it away and washing his dishes before they molded. This part was a little annoying because of the smell. I talked to him, but it didn't change. But it wasn't really worth a fight to me, so I didn't push it. Just threw the stuff away. I complained to my girlfriend a little about it, and she told me that my friend would have to learn how to do those chores on his own eventually. My friend was pretty organized besides that, and he made his bed every morning, and I didn't. Those were all of our habits. After freshman year, I decided to transfer to a cheaper uni and moved back home, which is also closer to my GF. I've been there since. My old roomie best friend moved in with a friend he made at uni. His new roommate is a horrible mess. He stacks dishes to the ceiling in their sink, leaves his shoes everywhere, and clothes too. He doesn't clean. My friend now does all the cleaning, and he gets really annoyed about it and complains to me a lot. Well, the other day I was hanging out with a mutual friend, and we were talking about our friend's new roommate. She told me that he used to complain to her about me being messy, too, because I didn't make my bed. I was kind of like WTF. So I don't feel bad about his messy roommate anymore, LMAO. It's mean, but if he isn't grateful for everything I did and had the nerve to complain, he can deal. I'm actually happy he has an actually messy roommate, so he can learn how much effort I was putting in that he was ungrateful for. I love my friend, but he is the youngest by like 12 years. He never had any household chores and never learned a lot of those important skills on how to keep a house. He needed to learn sometime. So I am happy that my best friend has a sloppy roommate. Anyway, being roommates is not for the weak in a friendship. You gave an inch, he took a mile, and you let it ride. Now this shit lives rent-free in your head. Let it go. Anyway, being roommates is not for the weak in a friendship. You got that right. All he saw was the one thing you didn't do that he did, which didn't even affect him because it was making your own bed, and he judged you on it. That's wild. Even though you did everything that affected both of you. Welp, he's learning now, lol. Karma truly bite him in the ass for mistreating you as a roommate. May his new roommate stay hitting him with that irony. Enjoy your non-messy life while keeping him at a distance as a friend, or eventually, as someone that you used to know. My brother insecurity eats me alive. My younger brother is dark-skinned. In my country, being dark-skinned is one of the worst crime. I have seen him bullied in school, even being called named by my classmates. It was awful. I am in college, and he has graduated. Though it have been better now. I found a video of him with his friends on a family computer. It was a recording of him and his friends playing anonymous chits. Like every friend writes as something they want to tell the person, then they are mixed and given to the person to react, and guess who wrote it? One of the chits was just he is dark-skinned. The way his smile faded so quickly. Every time I remember that video, I feel so awful. I am palest in the family and a little good-looking. Every time somebody makes a comment comparing us, and I see him try to hide his hurt, he uses so much like whitening body wash creams. It feels so horrible. I feel so awful. I can't imagine being bullied your whole life for something you didn't choose. He literally feels guilty for just existing. Stand up for him and put a stop to it. Being melanined is a great thing. Letter to Flora and her parents. Content warning for child loss. No grim details. Just a goodbye. Dear Flora, at least I think your name was Flora. I didn't want to pry too much and find out for sure, but a friend working the maternity ward told me that might have been what you would have been named. Your parents probably had a list of names to choose from, or had that one set in stone. Either way, it's a beautiful name to fit a beautiful human like you. You were born a little too early, and something went wrong a few hours later, and your parents had to say goodbye. I had to say goodbye too, but I had the privilege of keeping you safe for a little while longer. At the time, I had a day job, and some nights I would volunteer with a friend at their side gig. We were the people who moved the deceased from hospitals to funeral homes. I've met a lot of people who didn't meet me back. I remember them all to some degree, but ultimately you've got the biggest place in my heart. Everyone else was supposed to die. Sickness or old age chose those people. You though, I don't think I'll ever understand why it was your time to go that night. Around 11 p.m., I got the call. Shortly after, I hopped in the van with my friend, and we made our way over to the hospital. They told me this call might be tough. We arrived at the hospital and were promptly escorted to the maternity ward, which was strange since we usually picked up from the morgue. We didn't bring a stretcher, just a car seat. Hospital employees stared as we walked by, and I still don't blame them. In the ward, we waited as the nurse informed your parents that we had arrived. The nurse left your room in tears as the wails of your mother flowed out of the room behind her. I felt like the Grim Reaper that night with my all-black uniform with a black mask to cover my face. We got the nod of approval from that wonderful nurse, and we stepped into your room. Neither of your parents could have been over 30. Your mother sat on the bed holding you, while your father had his arms wrapped tightly around the both of you. The primal wails of agony that escaped your mother still replay in my mind. Your father was pleading with her that it was time to let you go. I learned later that you hadn't left your mother's arms for 6 hours up until then. As we stood and waited mere feet away, I wished that I didn't have to be the one to take you away from her. Despite that thought, I would have waited all night until she was ready. We stood and listened to your mother cry out to your father that she couldn't do it, couldn't let you go. I don't know how long we stood there, but I didn't care. When your mother could finally take some deep breaths, she did the most incredible and brave thing. She put you in the car seat herself, made sure you were buckled in safely, but not too tight. We tucked you in as best we could with a soft little blanket and told your parents that you'd be safe with us and we'd take good care of you on your journey. They were thankful. Then we left. It was a quiet drive to the funeral home. I was only 20, I think, and hadn't seen vulnerability like that before. We made sure you were comfortable when we got there. We did your swaddle and found that you were holding a teddy bear that couldn't have been bigger than my thumb. I sat with you for as long as I could before the next call came in. I saw you again the next day, this time placed perfectly in the smallest casket I'd ever seen. I was so happy to see your arms still wrapped around that tiny teddy bear. I got to say goodbye to you then. I still think about you often. I think about your parents and wonder how they're doing. My friend at the maternity ward told me you have a twin. I'm glad your parents got to meet both of you, and I'm sorry they had to say goodbye to one of you the same day. My family says I should have never done that job. But Flora, if I was any source of comfort to you and your parents that night, then it was the most important thing I've ever done and will ever do. I'm a stranger, but I'll never forget you. Wherever you are, I hope you know how much you are loved. Hugs. That has to be one of the harder jobs in this world. Thank you for your compassion and respect. You've made me cry, and this is the most beautiful thing I've read for ages. Thank you. This is lovely.